5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. It's 2025. Welcome to A Bite of. I'm Derek. That's Noah. And today we're getting into our most anticipated movies, series, and books for 2025.
Oh my God, I didn't know what was happening. Countdowns stressed me out.
Surprise explosion
Oh God.
of fun.
Okay. Happy New Year.
Yes.
We've made it to another year on this rock spinning through space and through the galaxy and through the universe. Hi. What's your New Year's resolution? What are you doing? What are you thinking for this year?
Are you talking to me or are you
Yeah.
talking to our friends?
Both.
Well, I don't do resolutions.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes, but I do a theme or a word or a phrase to help me frame my year. So this year, it's all about self-joy. So just things that bring joy to myself, whatever they may be.
Nice.
Yes, I think things are a little frightening at the moment in the world.
We might as well just bring it up, up at top. Yeah, I mean it's 2025 is a year. Certain things are happening.
Yeah.
Other things are happening in the world. It's scary.
At time of recording, it's 9 days in, and the headlines just keep getting worse and worse. So I'm focusing on the ways that I can bring joy to myself.
And that's why we're back. You know, I think we took, our holiday break and we did miss being in this little recording space with you guys.
Our safe space. But wait, what's yours? Do you do resolutions?
No. The only reason why I don't, because I know you do a word because you like to not what is it? So you don't have to feel like you failed something because you set a specific goal.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I think for most of my life, it was lose weight or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, I don't because I think I always say, this sounds really stupid. I know what I want to do, so I'll do it. I don't feel like I need to do it at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? That clock doesn't reset for me. And I feel like I put too much pressure on myself if I'm at the start of the year, you have to set new goals for yourself. I'm I'm already 10 goals behind. I don't need to add any more. You know?
I mean, that's why I don't do goals or resolutions. That's why I kind of just have a theme for myself and whatever way I could do it.
Yeah, I do like the word. If I could pick a word, it's just chill. Chill. Just chill, find your people.
Yeah.
Have fun. Be safe. Do things you like. Fight.
Yes, fight the patriarchy.
So New Year's aside, let us know if you have a word, if you have a goal. What's your reading goal? Did you make it? I made it by the skin of my teeth.
Why is it the skin of my teeth?
As I said it, I'm was that right?
No, it is right. But it's so funny because I was thinking that I'm hanging on by the skin of my teeth with this year already. But it's what is the...
Is it the inside of your lip? I don't know. Let us know. So our top 5 most anticipated movies, books, or shows. We are going to go back and forth. It's kind of like a round table style, right?
Yeah. I think that you all might be but wait, what about this? What about that? What about this? We only have 10 slots, 5 slots each. So there's only so much we could cover.
And I will say that when I made my list and then we were talking about stuff, I was I completely forgot things were coming out this year. And so I had to redo my list. I redid my list 7 times. And as I'm looking at it, I'm I want to redo it again.
Yeah. See, I knew it would bring me joy to just do it and not think about it anymore because I knew that it would just be over and over, switching things. I made my order and I was that's it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
I think the list that I have now is the immediate knee-jerk reaction of oh, this is my list. This is what I have. And it's not necessarily it is an order of excitement, right? I'm sure all of you, if you know me, you know what at least my number 1 is. Come on. Derek looked at something that was right.
Exactly.
So, but this is just really to get excited, right? I think it's a fun exercise to be what am I really excited for this year, especially in entertainment? This year's a big year. I am so excited. No spoilers ahead because we haven't seen any of this stuff.
Yeah, no.
The only spoiler it might be is oh, you didn't realize this was coming out this year. So oops.
Exactly. But then how exciting. Now you know.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't a thing, but let's officially take a bite of our top 5 of 25.
Well, before we get into everything,
Oh,
yeah,
the housekeeping.
it's been a minute. You know, we went to Texas and back. Almost our landing gear didn't work. Whatever, whole
We
big
did
thing.
so much traveling. Holy, in one state, like it was bonkers.
Too much. But so if you want to know about that stuff, make sure you're following us on all of the platforms that still exist. We're there. You know what I mean? We're there. You'll find us. Everything's down below. Leave a review, Discord, Patreon, all of that stuff.
Got it. Nailed it.
Beginning of the year, nailing
He's
it.
just chill. He's just chill about it.
I'm chilling, AKA not doing my job. Yes. Okay. So let's officially take a
All right. Let us officially take a bite of our top 5 most anticipated movies, series, or books of 2025. All right. So I'll start with my number 5.
Wow. He said, not ladies first.
He was taking a drink. I took the opportunity. We're going to do. He took a little sip.
Yeah. Go ahead. What's your 5th most excited for thing?
Yeah. So we're going to be going back and forth, back and forth. So my number 5 is Thunderbolts. Asterisk. Yeah.
I was like, you didn't do the title right.
So I think the world fell in love with Yelena. Florence Pugh is just amazing in this role. Loved her in Black Widow. Loved her again in Hawkeye. So looking forward to seeing her in Thunderbolts.
Just her.
Pretty much. No, I think also what's capturing me about Thunderbolts is kind of has that formula that I love. Like a ragtag group of misfits comes together to possibly save the day. Right.
And Fontaine is there too.
Well, right. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is coming back. She has a gray streak now. I mean, so much has happened. But yeah, we're going to see Bucky Barnes again, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster. Bob is going to be introduced, aka Sentry, right?
Yeah. He's an interesting choice, but also played by Pullman, who was in Lessons in Chemistry, which if you have not seen the limited series of Lessons in Chemistry that came out in 2024, go watch it. It is one of the best limited series I've seen in a long time.
You know what that series did? It broke my heart.
Oh, I was going to say broke your heart.
But then it put it back together again.
There's a dog in it named 630. I mean, the originality. Anyway, this is not about Lessons in Chemistry.
Are we doing a review of 2024? Yeah. We just slipped back in time.
I'm actually really happy that's on your list. It's not on my list, but it's in my top 10, I would say. I'm very excited for that movie because for the same reasons, but also Florence Pugh. I mean, I've missed her so much in the MCU. And a lot of these characters I just want more of. I'm really excited to see Ghost and Taskmaster.
I'm interested to see Taskmaster, honestly, because Taskmaster was kind of just like a silent killer.
And it's also like, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Last time, like maybe you exploded or you were like falling through the sky. So
Right,
good for
right.
you for still being around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited to see Florence Pugh. Also, 2025 is not the year of, but we're going to see more David Harbour, obviously, in this. And then Stranger Things 5, the final season of Stranger Things. So
What if that's on my list? How dare you?
spoiler alert.
It's not on my list.
Yeah, I just think that this is going to be a really fun one. I mean, also, John Walker's back, but whatever.
Oh, yeah. Forgot.
So there's the Bucky Barnes, John Walker reunion coming up as well.
And don't even come for me. I don't want him to have a redemption arc. He doesn't deserve it. No.
I think this is going to force us.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Try it, Marvel.
Try it,
me.
Marvel.
Yeah.
MCU.
Okay. My number 5 is Wicked for Good. Do I need to say anything? I mean, like, again, if you're thinking, why is this number 5? It's out of like everything that's been announced to come out, right? I think that's pretty high on the things relatively.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I want more. I haven't stopped thinking about Wicked since we've seen Wicked. If you want to know our full thoughts on Wicked, to see us cry, to see us talk about it in various different ways, we have an episode on that. So a couple episodes ago, just go watch that. But I'm very excited for it. I'm really curious how they're going to do it. You know, is it going to be another 2+ hour long movie? There's more songs in it. I'm excited to hear those original songs. I don't know. I'm just like, I need that last bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what's interesting is that, you know, there are more than just the one book of Wicked in the series. So I wonder, I'm curious.
That reminded me. So Gregory Maguire, who wrote Wicked, which the play is based off of, which this movie is based off of, is coming out with a new Wicked book. This year, it's a prequel and it's called Elfie. So if you've read the Wicked book, it kind of skips her childhood a little bit. Like it's a lot in her childhood in the beginning and that skips a majority of it. And then it's her at Shiz and then beyond. So he's doing the years that is missing and it's called Elfie.
That's going to be depressing. No?
Yeah, I'm curious.
As far as what they've told us, she was just bullied most of her life and had to take care of Nessa Rose.
I mean, if you've read Wicked, it's a dark book. It is dark. Don't go reading Wicked expecting musical. It's not that. So, but yes, very excited for Wicked for good. So that is my number 5.
All right. My number 4 is It, Welcome to Derry.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a new series that will be coming out. There's no exact date yet. What happened?
Sorry, I grossed myself out by how I reacted.
Oh, yeah. Very Pennywise wanting to eat children.
Just start drooling and my eyes start going like that.
Yeah. Tell us a joke, Pennywise. So I have a very interesting history with it. I fell in love with it through the 1990s 2-part series.
Mr. Curry.
Yes, with the amazing Tim Curry as Pennywise the Clown. And so what's funny is that as a child, I was incredibly frightened by it. Like I would have nightmares about Freddy Krueger, but then when I saw it, I started having nightmares about Pennywise the Clown.
As you should.
Right.
It was made to literally scare children.
And here I am thinking he's going to eat me.
Still.
So what's interesting though is that like I read the book in college, over 1,000 pages. Yes, good for me back then on the A train going to college. But then the newer ones came out, weren't necessarily my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But so what I'm trying to wrap my mind around is so that this series takes place in the past. It takes place in the 60s, this first season. And they just released that season 2 will be in 35 and season 3 will be in 1908.
They at least have a plan is what they said.
Right. If it gets greenlit to go all the way there. But it's trying to wrap my mind around. I love the original one from 1990, but when they were kids in the 1991, it was the 60s.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
But this is going to be a different group of kids now.
Well, because I think they're basing it off of the current one because that's what's in people's minds. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Interesting.
Right.
I like how they like saw Fear Street, what they did, and they were like, we should do that.
We're going there.
Like we'll do it, but in reverse chronological order. I actually really I'm very excited for this as well. Stephen King. Duh. I actually originally had 2 Stephen King properties on my list, and then I changed some things. But I am excited for that because I like the idea of seeing when Pennywise woke up prior to our original gang, and then keep going back 30 years, about 30 years from there. That's very exciting.
Yeah. So when I think about the 1991, there's that one amazing scene where Mike is holding the photo album and it's flipping back and forth, and you see him through time always appearing in Derry, but now we're going to see that timeline in action.
I hope we do. And I'm one thing that I do love about them doing more things in those universes is like little Easter eggs. Ooh. I mean, we'll probably do an episode on that. We love that. Things. Okay. Yeah. I'm very excited.
And we'll see what creepy things Bill will do as Pennywise this time around as well.
And also Skarsgård is coming back as Pennywise.
That's what I just said.
Oh, he's coming back as Pennywise.
Well, I think it's confusing because, the main character used to be Billy Boy. But Bill Skarsgård, I know him, so I call him Bill Skarsgård. I call him Bill.
Oh, Billy.
That's what I said. Yeah. I said Bill.
Got it. That is why it confused me. There's characters named Billy. Come on.
I got you.
Okay, my number 4. First book on the thing, Calabasas by R.F. Kuang. She is one of my favorite authors, and every release, she's an automatic buy, automatic read for me. Her most recent book was Yellowface, which was more literary fiction, but she typically does fantasy or sci-fi or mixed with them. Babel was the one before that. So good. But Calabasas, cover not revealed yet. Comes out in August this year, which is crazy. The cover's not revealed. Let me just read the little details that we've gotten. and this is why I'm excited, with like a sentence. That's all we have for what the book is about. Two rival PhD students at Cambridge descend into hell to rescue the soul of their academic advisor.
Fire.
That's it. Like they either need those letters of recommendation or like something. Oh, and also it's a love story too. So I'm very happy.
Between one of the students and the advisor.
Or both of the students, or a student and a demon.
It's a triad.
I don't know. I just also like knowing her. She has like multiple degrees, PhD. She was like in Forbes 30 under 30, multiple like Lucas, Nebula, all of these awards, right? She's younger than me. I'm like,
They always are.
Is so talented, but I don't know. I just love her writing. I'm so excited for this. The second I found out that she was writing another book, I was like, I need more. I need it now.
Yeah, it's probably going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I just love, one of my things is that I always wonder where these ideas come from, right? And just like this small summary you read to us, it just is like, how? How do you think of that?
I remember watching an interview with her, and it was at some like town hall type thing. And it was after Yellowface had come out, because that book was so different from everything she wrote. Even her agent was like really scared to release it at first. But she talks about how Babel, the Poppy War trilogy, and this book are like, she's like had to work to get these stories out and everything. But Yellowface, she was like, I always hate it when authors are like the muse, like it's just whatever. And she's like, that was one of the stories that literally just popped out of her head during a workout. But it's crazy to think that she was writing this story before that one. I know, it's just wild. Authors are wild.
Yeah.
They're so wild.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited for that book.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to hear what you think of it.
Yeah. Okay, number 3.
Number 3. Okay, so this is something I feel like we haven't talked about, but my number 3 is Dandadan Season 2.
Oh.
So Dandadan is an anime that came out this year. It's the most wild mashup of a rom-com and a sci-fi horror. And so it started as a manga. It came out in 2021. It was made into an anime this year. And it's just
2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
This year. The manga came out in 2021. The anime came out this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In 2024. It's 2025
Oh, my
now.
God. I didn't get what you were saying.
I was trying to let you get there.
No. I told you all, it's a hard year already, okay? Stop yelling at me.
It's totally fine. It came out at the end of 2024. The second season's coming out this year.
Everyone's screaming.
There we go.
Anyway. So when I first discovered this, I saw it at Anime NYC. The Viz booth was selling the first volume of the manga and also a Turbo Granny pin, but they sold out. And so I was like, wait, why did this sell out? It must be really good. So I actually went and watched the first 3 episodes in theaters.
I remember
which was
that.
Really cool. And I was like, all right, Noah, you got to watch this. It came out. You fell in love with it. And these characters are just so good. The animation is incredible. The color that they use, how they shift through color, it's phenomenal. And has one of the like hardest going opening theme songs ever.
It is one of those shows. I feel like we could do an episode on. Actually, that's a good idea. Put this in your mind palace. One of the few shows where you just don't skip the intro, because it's distributed by Netflix, so you can skip the intro. Never. Just look it up, guys. Go look it up right now. And you'll understand.
So good. And like when you actually look up the lyrics, and like there's a couple of videos of them explaining the lyrics, what I think it's Creepy Nuts. What they did is that they took all of these like sayings of like Japanese folklore and things like that and mash it into like this like super cool pop rap.
Right.
Oh, so good. I will say if you're like, okay, I want to check this out. The first episode of season 1 is a little jarring, right? It almost feels a little fan servicey in one section, which I've never been into. It almost turned me off. But then Momo, who is our female lead in this, she is such a badass, strong character that I say just push through it to see that they're not just using her in like sort of sometimes some of the tropes that they fall into with female leads in an anime.
Yeah, it's a little male gazy in a couple parts. But what I will say about the show is that it does it with all genders.
That's true.
So it's a horny show. Like I think it's a horny show. It has rom-com feels to it. It is insane action, mixing two concepts of like ghosts and aliens. They're both real, mixing them together. It's just so unique and so special. And I'm so excited. I'm glad it's on your list because we get to talk about it a little bit. It is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
July of this year. I cannot wait. It's just, and I'm like as caught up as I can be with the English translation of the manga. I think we're up to volume 10 here in the US. It's up to volume 18 in Japan. And even though I know what's going to happen, I can't wait to see it animated.
Go watch it. Highly recommend.
Highly, highly recommend.
ABO stamp of approval. Okay.
Woo-hoo.
My number 3 is 28 years later. We have a trailer for it. It comes out in 2025. That's all we know right now. Danny Boyle is back. He didn't get to do a lot. Neither did Alex Garland for 28 weeks later, even though that one's fine. It's good. It's good. It's good. 28 days later is amazing. It's so good. I'm so excited for this team to be back. Cillian Murphy is also back. I don't know if he's actually in this one. So this is a planned 3 trilogy. There's 3 movies. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. But so it's planned. So Danny Boyle is coming back to direct. Alex Garland's writing this one with him. I believe the second, I don't think the third one is, but Nia DaCosta, who did The Marvels, is going to be doing the second part of this trilogy, aka the 4th movie. It's a lot of numbers.
My head around it.
Right. But there is a trailer out already. Aaron Taylor Johnson. I was going to say Aaron Taylor Joy, because Anya Taylor Joy, whatever.
No, it's very easy to do that.
God, I can't speak. Like, it's just a lot of names. Ralph Fiennes. Rafe? Stupid. Whatever. He said some crap anyway, so he can.
The Conclave.
What?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And Jodie Comer is going to be starring this one. So very excited. So if you didn't catch that the first time, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Ralph Fiennes, and Jodie Comer are starring this one. I just love it, right? The series, because it's like, it came out in 2002, I believe, the first one, which is insane. Almost 20 years. More than 20 years ago.
23
years, not 28. They should have waited.
Maybe the third one will come out.
Well, that's dumb, because it would probably be like 28 centuries later.
Yeah, what are they going to be calling them?
No idea.
28 years later, part due plus 1 year?
Don't get me started on parts and not parts, because Wicked should have been named Part 2. Just putting that out there. John Chu.
He's got a bone. He's got a bone to pick for them.
Going back to my number 5 pick. How dare you? But very excited. So if there could be an award given for movie trailers, the editor for this trailer, amazing.
What about like that rumor that Cillian Murphy is really like that emaciated zombie that pops up?
It's not.
It's not?
No, it's a different actor. It looks like him though.
Well, if you remember in the first movie, because he's in a coma, right? He wakes up, no one's been taking care of him. He's like skin and bones. Yeah. So it could be.
But also that was like the look. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like
not eating.
It was like Kate Moss.
But I'm really excited. I'm excited to see Jim's story continue, because I do believe he is in the later ones. So yeah, come on, horror, zombies. It's like, this was one of the first ones where it's like, what if zombies could run?
Yeah.
You know?
I love the first one as well. I thought 28 months later was okay as well. I mean, it had the tension, had everything in it.
Weeks.
They
didn't do months. They skipped months.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll get there. We'll get there.
First part of the year.
Everyone, they're like, yikes, what happened to these guys? Unsubscribe.
Boo.
Guys, don't do it. Stay with us. Anyway, I'm very excited. I, for some reason, have a soft spot for zombie movies, like these types, like World War Z, things like that. Like even like the first Resident Evil. I love.
I love monster movies, right? I love the zombies, the vampires, the werewolves and stuff. And I was going to put Wolfman on here because it hasn't technically come out yet. And I am excited for it. Until I saw the Wolfman, it made me get off of my top 5. Because can I just like tiny little itty bitty baby tiny like soapbox for a second?
You? Soapbox? Never.
Anyway, stop making werewolf movies where the werewolf is more man than wolf.
Yeah.
I don't watch it for the man. I watch it for the man struggling to become the wolf. I want to see wolf. I don't want to see man, wolf, werewolf, wolf man. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, let's just.
I get it. It's funny because you have to think about the thought process. They're like, well, it's a man that becomes a wolf. So people aren't going to believe that it's a full wolf. But it's like, no, we're believing
but it doesn't
that
even,
a man's transforming.
Right, but it doesn't even like have to be a full wolf. You know what I mean? Like if I can see mostly skin and there's like whiffs of hair. What?
Then why are we even calling it wolf?
Yeah. That was weird.
Yeah. Well, before you were saying wolf so much, you were like starting to sound like Christoph Wolf. And you were like, the wolf is a man. I want the wolf.
I'm an Inglorious Bastard.
Yes,
right
exactly.
What were we watching where there was like a werewolf type thing? And like somebody was recording and they had to go into like this, like, it was like an actor. It was like an anthology series or something like that. Oh, man.
There was in a good light or a bad light. You liked it or you didn't like it?
I think we didn't know. Anyway, whatever.
Oh, how interesting.
It was some anthology series and it was like one of them. I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, please comment below.
Was it like Black Mirror or something like that?
I don't think so.
Huh.
Maybe. I think it was. It was one of the last season of Black Mirror.
We figured it out.
Yay.
Good for us.
Anyway, number 2.
Number 2. So my number 2 is my one and only book. And it is going to come out on March 18th of this year. And
soon.
It's Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Another prequel for the Hunger Games. And this one is following the story of Hamish Abernathy, as we all knew as the mentor to Katniss and Peeta. So
the drunk.
Yes, but now we're going to understand why he is the way that he is. And so, I mean, spoiler alert, as we all know, he was very integral into overthrowing the Capitol. So he wasn't, as, you kind of like were mad at him at the beginning of the first movie, but you learned to love him later on.
He was more of like, I don't like the Capitol, but like I have a cushy job.
Yeah.
And also I'm drunk.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like, every year of my life, I'm just sending these kids off to die. So here we go again.
Right.
Little did he know that he had the Mockingjay this time around. But it is a quarter quell. This is the second quarter quell. It's the 50th games. And so, of course, something like special happens that year. And in this year, it means there's double the tributes. So there's 4 tributes instead of 2.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The fact that he won with that many tributes. Ugh. How did you feel? Because we didn't do an episode on it. I can't remember what was happening. We were going to do an episode on Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but we didn't. What is your 2-sentence feelings on the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? Like as a prequel,
the book or the movie?
Both. Let's do 1 sentence for the book, 1 sentence for the movie.
Oh my God.
Not
is
literally.
The meanest thing you've ever done. No. So I was very excited to get back into Pen Am. At first, when I heard the premise of it, I was like, oh, Coriolanus, I don't really care about him. But it shows us what he was willing to do for power and for his own success. I'm personally still waiting to see when she writes about Lucy Gray.
If she does, yeah, I hope she does. That would be cool.
Because I personally think that she's the one that keeps District 13 alive, but we won't know until we get there. What's very interesting is that in the book, we're in the games, it felt like for half the book, and then we're with the two of them falling in love for the second half. In the book, I was like, that went on for too long. In the movie, I felt like it didn't go on long enough.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like the ending of the movie. I felt like it was almost like Cabin at the End of the World, where in the book you kind of got more understanding of what was happening, and also like, oh, maybe this happened. But in the movie, it held your hand a little bit, and that's I don't like it when they do that, where it's like purposely in the book it's like supposed to be ambiguous, but also like gives you context clues to be like, this is why this happens in the future. I don't like them like kind of messing with that just for the story's sake, right? Because I felt like in the book, it was like, oh no, he's bad. Like he like messed up big time. In the movie, it was just kind of like, are we like siding more on his side? And that's because he's pretty. You know? Like that's
he did
what I
look
felt.
good when he cut that hair off. I'll tell you that.
He did. I'm excited. I like these prequels. I like the book a lot. So I mean, keep it coming, Suzanne. Like,
Well, I think that's the thing, is that in order for us to want to believe or keep believing that there is some sort of peace in Panem and Katniss has found whatever version of happiness she actually can, we can't write forward.
no, I don't want them to.
I don't want them to either,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And
But also, do we want more kids dying?
well,
But I guess that's why we read it, right?
well, that's the creepy thing about it. It's like, I can't wait to get back into the Hunger Games to watch kids fight to the death. But I'm trying to remember, I think it was maybe the creators of Friends. They said, we don't want to do a reboot because they're all happy right now. And in order to create more stories, we have to create more problems.
Right.
Right. And so that's kind of one of the things with like Sex and the City. It's like, and just like that, well, we had to make more problems for these characters who we left very happily. So I don't want Suzanne to mess with that. Let's keep going back. Let's flesh out the world more. Flesh out the world more.
Also, she has like 70 something Hunger Games to go through.
75, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Quarter Quells. So cool.
Let's do it. I mean, we have to get to the first Quarter Quell at some point.
Do we? She's going to,
Maybe.
there's 75 Hunger Games.
A novella. They're all going to be novellas. Let's do that.
All right. My number 2. I think, wait, what do I have? This is my first superhero property. Yay me. Be proud of me.
Wow. I'm so
Okay.
proud of you. Congratulations.
Daredevil, Born Again. Matt Murdock, Karen Page, Foggy Nelson. I need them back in my life. I need these Netflix Marvel characters back in my life because they've been gone too long.
And is this taking place after he has hooked up with She-Hulk?
I don't know. I would assume so. I think that's the thing that like it's on everybody's mind is how are they going to, because they've coined this as like a soft reboot and also a continuation. So what exactly is that going to look like? Who knows? But he obviously exists in the MCU at some forever, right? Or he hasn't not existed in the MCU. It's just now he's actually introduced into it. I'm very excited for multiple reasons, but also because this is the first like Disney Marvel show where it's like over 9 episodes. It's close to 20 episodes.
Wow.
And also Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead are co-leading this with 18. They're directing 18 episodes, I believe. And they've done shows like Loki, Moon Knight. They've had their hands in a lot of different MCU shows. I'm just excited. I don't think it really needs anything else to be said aside from like, I'm hoping they mix the Netflix side and the MCU side well, like they did in, I would say, like Hawkeye. Hawkeye did a good job of meshing the two together.
Mm-hmm.
Echo did the same thing. I hope Echo shows up in this. And also, I did write one of the kind of short synopsises that they wrote because it's why not be excited about this, right? Longtime rivals Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, attempt to move past their darker personas to serve New York, but their pasts resurface. So I just love the internal struggle of these characters trying to like, again, be better versions of themselves, but for what reason?
Mm-hmm.
And also they're not going to be able to get past that. I'm just so excited. Also, Charlie Cox.
Mm-hmm. And you also have to think of when they say like when their pasts resurface, doesn't necessarily always mean what, it could mean who.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. I think they did. We know Bullseye is coming back, but also just Matt Murdock. And I'm just so happy that the crew is back together because I know for the longest time, we weren't sure if the other characters were going to come into the MCU. So like Karen and Foggy, we weren't sure about that, but they're all there. So we're good. We're good.
Breathe a sigh of relief. They're back. All right.
Very excited.
So let's get into my number 1. Drumroll, please. No one. Okay. So my number 1 is actually your number 5.
Oh,
So it is Wicked for Good,
wow.
which is coming out on November 21st of this year. I felt,
I was going to be surprised if this wasn't on your list.
how could I not put this as my thing I'm most excited for when it so completely destroyed me? Please, put the clip here of me crying. I just am so excited. I just also have to say, here's my little soapbox moment. I was very upset with the like non-love it got at the Golden Globes, although it got nominations. Like it won one thing.
Yeah, the Oscar noms aren't out yet. It has gotten some awards, which is nice, but the Golden Globes, for them giving them that like, I don't mean to like be mean, but like that made up award, like the box office achievement. Like, what does that mean?
Box office bestie.
It's like, oh, it was a risk. Okay.
Yeah.
You mean the musical that has been the most popular musical for what, 20 something years?
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. I think the thing is that it affected so many people so deeply that you would expect them to be awarded for that. Cynthia at least, but we didn't
Even
get that.
Aria. I mean, I honestly, everybody should. You know what I mean? Like, everybody put work into that movie, and I hope that they do.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see what happens. But as far as the movie itself, I am just so excited to see this story come back and then get some closure, hopefully, and see how it all relates to The Wizard of Oz.
What if they're like, oh, surprise, it's going to be a trilogy?
No, that would make me furious. I am still in the camp that if they do a double feature, I will be sat for real.
Are you okay with them calling part one and the second one For Good?
I don't mind it being called For Good. I just wish they matched in some way.
Part of me was like, are they going to retroactively, like, when it comes out on DVD or streamer or whatever it is, like, change it? But his reasoning is like, who wants it to be called part two? It's like, well, you called part one.
Yeah. What do you think part one? It would be part one, Defying Gravity.
I could see it being part one, No One Mourns the Wicked.
I
like
that sounds good.
Or Defying Gravity. I think it kind of sounds cheap. I don't know why that sounds cheap, but it does.
Probably because it's like the most well-known song. So they use that. Anyway, it's going to be part one and For Good. Maybe they're telling us that this is the last one for good.
Oh, nice.
They're not doing any more Wickeds. Wicked for good.
They shouldn't. Not for like 100 years. And then when we're all dead.
They're going to do Wicked 28 weeks later.
Stop it. All right. My number one.
Here we go. The biggest surprise, the biggest question mark.
It is Baby Girl. No, I'm
Yes, Nicole Kidman. Yeah.
Fantastic Four, First Steps. Come on. It has Pedro, it has Vanessa Kirby, it has Eben, it has Joseph, it has what's his name? Enos. Oh my God, the dad from the Witch. He's voicing Galactus.
Oh yeah.
Julie. Oh, I'm so excited. That is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. They're in Marvel Rivals now. They're coming to the big screen. They're getting redemption after how many failed attempts?
Fan Four Stick.
I'm just excited. I think that the cast, I couldn't be happier with the cast. I'm so excited to actually see what this is going to look like. I think Marvel needs something like this. I think it needs to stretch the limits of what it can do and what a team looks like, instead of just like focusing on the Avengers. What does a team outside of that look like? Because some of my favorite things have been the Marvels, the Eternals, grouping people together, or different types of teams that aren't the Avengers,
Is this the one that Iron Man is going to be in?
No, that's Avengers Doomsday.
Doomsday. There you go.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know. Everything I've seen for it, the posters that they're doing, the marketing is so good. They have to nail this. Like, they have to nail this. Because if they don't, that's not great.
What for you would be them like not nailing it? Like, is there something that they could do that would totally ruin it for you?
Not to sound like Vin Diesel, but family. Like, if they do not get the family down, which I'm not really worried about, because Matt Shackman, who did WandaVision, is doing this. And the chemistry in WandaVision was off the charts. So I feel like he's going to do a good job.
Yeah, that family's still making waves in the MCU right now. So
it's a 3-part series trilogy that we're getting. Yeah, so I'm very happy with everybody involved with it. I don't know. I can't wait. Like, I'm going to be insufferable. Even more so.
Going to be.
Like, I feel so bad for Derek, because the second that I found out the Fantastic Four were coming into a video game, that's all I've been able to think about and talk about.
I literally told him the other day, I was getting the recycling together to put out, and he was like, oh, you know what I forgot to tell you? I said, if this is about Marvel Rivals, Fantastic Four, you've reached your quota for the day. It was about 4 p.m.
Well, and we were at work. Well, we had worked that day, and you still got... Anyway, I'm excited. I'm very excited for it. It has everything that I'm hoping for. at least character wise. So, and also Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro.
Pedro.
He's another one that's having a year and
Again.
that we didn't mention in either of our top fives.
Well, we do have honorable mentions. So let's get to the honorable mentions real quick. And again, this was like a list to like, also to give you a hint of like what's to come on the podcast this year, you know? Okay, go with your honorable mention. This is like, go ahead.
Oh. Okay, so
one.
So I was very, very solid with my top five, but I also have a 6 through 10.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so Noah said this can't be my honorable mention because we actually don't know if it's coming out in 2025, but I still want to mention it. The Netflix Japanese queer reality series, The Boyfriend.
So good.
There's going to be a season 2. We were living for that in 2024. I almost said this year again, but I remember that it's 2025.
I feel like it's fine until February. If you're still saying 2024 in February, you need to like...
You know, I haven't written 2024. You know, like when you mistakenly do it, I've been doing 2025. But
cool. So you saved it all for the podcast.
Exactly.
Great.
When we're recording and it goes out into the world. But I will, what is my honorable mention? I'm going to say, okay, I'll say The Conjuring Last Rites.
Interesting.
Is my honorable mention.
Wow.
I love the Warrens. The Conjuring, the first one, I thought was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's maybe that's like top 5 horror movies for me. Did the ones following it, were they as strong? Absolutely not. But I'm excited to see this final chapter in the
Warren
because
it's
story.
ending.
Yeah.
That's fun. I like it when it's ending. It's like, okay. But like usually when it's ending, they like get it right again.
Through time, Vera Farmiga's hair has been getting higher and higher to be as high as the real Lorraine Warren's hair. This time, it's going to be through the roof. Yeah, she's going to look like the grandmother from Dan to Dan. But yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, it's like her hair is like the what's her name? The cop from Super Troopers, where every time her hat, the brim of her. Oh no, that's Scary Movie. No.
Yes, it is.
Scary movie.
Yeah.
It gets bigger and bigger.
Exactly.
I don't know why I thought it was Super Troopers.
Well, that movie's hilarious. So,
I think that's why. But it gets bigger and bigger every scene.
What's your honorable mention?
Okay. My honorable mention is Superman. The only reason why I didn't make my list of top 5, even though
the dog.
Hate Crypto. Hate him.
No.
I'm cautiously optimistic for James Gunn's DCU. It's DC. I think it's reasonable for me to be cautious, and especially somebody like James Gunn, who I think does do a good job, but also there's things that he does that I don't like, you know? So everything I've seen from the trailer, I like, but I don't want to be like, I'm all in. Right. I'm excited. I'll watch it. And if it's great, I am so excited for DCU, for it to have its Marvel moment. I don't want to say that, but you know what I mean? Like for it to finally, I don't know, give these characters moments that they deserve.
Yeah.
Instead of whatever bullshit they got last time.
Yeah.
So
will the Dick you be like the Mick you?
Is it going to dick you in a bad way or a good way?
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know. I'm excited, but like cautiously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's our top 5 with an honorable mention. Obviously, there's so much content coming out this year. I feel like, you know, because of the strikes and everything is starting to flow back out again. Let us know what your top 5 is, or what you're excited for this year. I'm really curious.
Yeah. And I will say to just the universe, I could also use some softer shows or more sitcom-y type shows. We had the end of What We Do in the Shadows. We had the end of Somebody Somewhere. So give me some lighthearted, introspective. I mean, What We Do in the Shadows is introspective, but
it could be
a little bit. You're right, actually.
Gay is in, gay is hot, gay is where I want to be.
Creepy paper.
Yeah.
New York City.
I don't know how any of that is introspective, but it is.
Maybe it speaks to you in some way. But yeah, I'm really curious of what everybody else is excited for. I think 2025 is going to be a banger of a year in many ways.
All right, that's it for us. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We're doing great.
Oh.